Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Visionary Call. Today we have a special guest who's in the baking company. Her name is Letlhogonolo. She's a multi-talented woman. She's an entrepreneur, a preacher. She studied IT at Boston College. She's also the founder and the CEO of Fancy Sweet Cakes. She's also an MC. She does MC as part-time. Good day, man.
Good day, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good.
Can you please explain to our friends what are we doing?
Okay, today here we have our muffins, our lemon muffins. So I just wanted to demonstrate the difference between muffins and cupcakes. So when you have your cookies baked like this, then it's your muffins. But after you start decorating, then it will be cupcakes. So you need to know the different types of nozzles that you use because we have different types of sizes. So I'll be using this big one, and this is what we call a piping bag. So you need to get a piping bag that is reusable so that you don't have to throw it away immediately when you are done with it, but you can wash it and use it again. So I'm going to just stick it. So here we have our lemon muffins. So we are going to turn them into cupcakes because there's a difference between muffins and cupcakes. So here, because there's no decoration as yet, it is a muffin. So
sorry to disturb you. I thought this was the same thing in cupcakes and muffins. I didn't know there was a difference.
When it's like this without any decoration, it's a muffin. So because we will be using our buttercream, as you have seen that I've already mixed it up here, it's going to be a cupcake. So in order to start decorating our muffins to turn into cupcakes, we use different types of nozzles. So I'm going to be using this one, the big one. So I'm going to stick it in my piping bag. So this is a reusable piping bag that you can wash and use again. So after I'm done sticking it in the piping bag, the nozzle, this is how it will look. So in order for me to fill my piping bag with the buttercream, I'll just have to stick my hand inside and just make sure that I'm holding it comfortably. Then you can use a spatula or a spoon to fill your piping bag. Just make sure that you make everything look very neat, and then I can just pull it down from under and then keep on filling it. So this buttercream is a mixture of margarine, white margarine, and the essence of your choice, and your icing sugar. So this is how I do my own buttercream. But if you have more ideas to add onto your buttercream, you can, because we as bakers we use different types of ingredients. So this is how you make sure that your buttercream is actually within, it actually peeps through the nozzle. And then you can either decorate your muffins like this, so you can be creative and use different types of designs. So this looks like dropped flowers. So now it has turned from muffin to a cupcake, you know. Or if you don't want to use this technique, you can cut off the top part of your muffin, and then you can remove it, and then you can pour your simple syrup or any kind of syrup. So you can this mixture of syrup is sugar and water, and hot water actually, just to make sure that the sugar is properly dissolved. So as you can see that in this muffin sponge there are black seeds. So these are called poppy seeds. So we use them a lot in baking or cooking. So this is how we apply our simple syrup, which makes your muffin, or rather cupcake, more sweeter. And then you can start decorating it. So you can just be creative. So this is how you can decorate, or you can repeat the dropped flour again. I can smell the scent from these cupcakes. Smells very nice because I used lemon essences. This is a lemon muffin. So any design that you feel you are comfortable with, or you think that you will like, you can use on your muffins. So this is how we change our muffins into cupcakes.
Sorry to disturb you for a while. Can I ask what's the difference between the two designs here?
Okay, so this is a drop flower. As you can see, the design of the nozzle, it shapes the design. So you need to know your different types of nozzle. You see, this one is tiny.
Yeah.
The designs are way different. So when I do this kind of a design, it's a dropped flower, and
yeah.
it does look like a flower, as you can see, you know. So it's like you're literally dropping flowers on your muffin design and turning it into a cupcake.
So which means you need to be creative in
You
this
need
industry.
to be very creative, because there's a lot of competition out there. But one thing that I love about competition is that it's very healthy. So I don't know if you would like to taste some of the
I wouldn't mind.
cupcakes, and they smell so good. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells so good. So you can take any design that you like.
Okay, let me try this one now.
This
This one has
okay.
syrup inside, ne?
Yes, it has a simple syrup, which is our normal sugar and hot water. So how does it taste?
Nah, it tastes nice, guys. You should try this out.
Okay, so how does
Give me
this
your
sponge
sauce.
be sweet, or is it spongy and soft? How is
Yeah,
the
it's
sponge?
soft. Yeah, it's
soft.
spongy.
Okay.
Yeah. Even your cream is not too much.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay.
balanced, yeah.
All right. Okay, so can you taste the lemon aroma? Can you
Yeah,
can you
I can
feel
feel
it?
it.
Can you also smell it? Okay, so that's your essence. It's very important that it actually bursts out. It makes your cupcakes or a muffin stand out. So that's I'm glad that you say that it's very nice, because I also personally enjoy my own cupcakes. So yeah. So now next time I guess we will be using a different type of nozzle for maybe a cake or
Yeah.
yes, and so forth.
So, yeah, your cupcakes are nice. I enjoy them. And
I
you see,
also enjoy it.
and you see, guys, the bowl is now half empty. It's like I can have more, but now it's time for business.
Most definitely.
Then for people who don't know you, who is Letlhogonolo?
Letlhogonolo is a young woman that is very black empowered
Yeah.
when it comes into the entrepreneurial space. I was born and bred in Soweto, Moroki. So I was raised here and I grew up here. We also had a tuck shop here at home. So that's also where the confidence of owning a business came from, you know. And having to grow up in a home where there was a business, you learn how to manage finances. You learn how to respect the discipline of finance, you know. So it has taught me quite a lot. As I have said prior, that I studied IT, systems development, that has to do with coding applications and so forth, with a private college called Boston City Campus. But yet I had to follow my passion. I had to follow what I loved more, you know, in order to make sure that my business stands. There's nothing that is more powerful than leading a business that is off your passion. My love for computers and gadgets is still there, but I love, you know, baking more, you know. So that is who I am.
Don't you think passion is one of the most important things when it comes to business?
Most definitely.
Because people that have been interviewing who are in business, most of them, they took their passion and they turned it into business.
Most definitely, most definitely. Passion is very important because it comes much more easier.
Yeah.
Not that you always know, like in the baking industry, you don't always know. You have to keep on learning to also keep up with the healthy competition, you
Yeah.
know. So passion is very important because it's not worthy to be in an environment where you work out of frustration and work like someone is pushing you, you know. So when it comes with the baking, for one, an example, I don't have to wait for someone else to wake me up to bake, you know. It's my passion, so it comes much more easier, and I understand the different types of outcomes of my products, and I know how to quickly manage the damages and so forth. So it's much more easy to follow your passion compared to what you don't love at all.
As I was tasting your cupcakes, I could feel them like they were made out of passion.
Yeah.
Because if you were not passionate of what you were doing, they wouldn't be this nice.
Most definitely, most
Like,
definitely.
have you seen when someone is forced to cook a meal and they're not happy? Have you seen how the meat turns out to be?
Most definitely, yes, most definitely. passion is very important because you do things out of love.
Love,
You know,
yeah.
like you don't have to wait for someone to
Someone,
push
yeah.
you. It's there. You know, even when you create your new ideas, that it starts from within. Especially when it comes to cooking, your heart needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
When you cook, you don't need to be frustrated or angry with anyone. You need to be happy from within and bake happily or cook happily. So.
And how did you discover your passion? That baking is your passion.
Well, okay, yes, I studied IT. I continued to discover computers from the first inventions until now, you
Yeah.
know. But I discovered that I love baking more. You know, my passion is here more. You know, sometimes when it comes to baking, I don't really have to study in order to bring out my product. You know, you already know, and when you bake, you already know when there's too much sugar
Yeah.
or not. Even without measurement, you just know that there's too much sugar or there's more flour and so forth. You know, so that's how it is.
So baking runs in your blood.
It runs in it's genetically, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for someone who studied IT, how did you end up doing a baking business?
The baking business, well, it actually started when I was looking for a job,
Yeah.
you know, and then I couldn't find the job that I was looking for, you know, and then I did an introspection because an introspection is very important. It's very important to know who you are and where you are going and understand your purpose and what is required of you to make sure that you fulfill your mandate in life, you know. So I had to sit down and do an introspection as to what do I really want. What if I don't really get a job at all in IT? What am I going to do? And I had to come up with a strategic plan to also pave a future for myself, you know. So I thought about this business. I started writing down. So writing is also very important because you don't also forget. So I started writing down what I wanted to start with and so forth because I started with a very small amount of money. So then I started saving my money pocket because I knew what I wanted. So I had to save and deny myself my wants and focus on the needs, you know. And it's vitally important that as a youth, you use your time right now to save. You don't wait for yourself to get very old. You need to invest now, you know, and pave your future for yourself now. So that's what I did. I started saving. I started disciplining myself to try and set a goal between what are my wants and my needs. And then when I discovered my needs, then I made sure that I work hard towards them. So that's how.
Okay, as I was saying, instead of waiting for government or for companies to provide jobs, you can take your passion and your purpose and turn it into a business.
Most definitely, yes. Because you can't, especially when you know what you want in life, you can't wait for the next person to pick you up. Your passion needs to drive you because you know what you want. You know, your passion burns you, you know, more than it can burn anyone else. You know, so that's how it came about with me to not wait for a job to be offered to me. I had to create my own job or even create employment for other people, you know. So that's how it came about for me to push my passion because I know who I am and I know where I'm going and I know what I want.
Then how much did you have when you started your business?
Okay, let me tell you how I started gathering the money. Okay, I had to start saving my own pocket money. As little as it was at that time, you know, but I still had to save it. And then I had to start from using a 350 capital, close to 350 to 400 rand. And that's when I started buying baking material. And then with the minimum profits that I made at that time, I did not spend them on myself, you know, unless it is for airtime or data to spread the word about my business, you know. And then I started buying spatulas. Then you find that in the next profit, I would use that profit to buy maybe an extra pen or a piping bag, little things that I felt that, okay, if this does not overpower my profit, but it can fit within my budget, then let me buy it because as time goes on, it's going to be a need for the business. So far, since I've started my business, I've never spent the profit on myself, not even for coterie, you know, because that's how far I want to grow. I want this business to grow so bad, you know. And the feeling of making my first profit was amazing because I felt like, you know what, that means it is possible to be independent, you know, and it is possible to stand for yourself without the next person having to always push you and so forth. You know, it felt amazing because especially as a woman, it made me feel capable of having to do things for myself, not having to wait for someone else to do things for myself, you know. And also at the same time, with your first profit, it doesn't always have to be big. You need to be within the contentment, you know, of what you have. If you are not content, if your profit is small, it's not going to satisfy you. But when you are content with what you get from God, then it's good.
And you think gratitude is one of the most important things that you should have as a human being?
Most definitely.
You should be content for whatever you have.
Most definitely. Because as people, we are born for different purposes. You know, some people are mandated to be billionaires at our age, you know, and we are meant to be billionaires maybe at a certain age as time goes on, you know. And it's very important that we don't have the bad competition amongst us where we maybe become jealous of our friends. No, you need to understand who you are. You know, that's why it's very important that you need to do an introspection, even if it's on a daily basis. It's fine, as long as you're going to understand that this is who you are, these are your strengths and your weaknesses and so forth. If you are not content, then it's going to be a problem, you know. But when you are content, you are able to work with even the most, even if ni 10 rand, you know, you are able to make a 10 rand a billion, you know. So contentment is very important. So if you don't understand who you are, you will follow just any kind of group and any kind of mandate. But when you know who you are, you will know the mandate that is for you, and you will know the people that are around you, like who is for you and who is not for you.
So that is why it's important to know who you are.
Most
You shouldn't follow what other people are doing. Because, you know,
Most
sometimes the problem, let's take I'm making money from trading, then the next thing you want to join me because I'm making money from trading, and the next year another friend of yours is making money from construction, when I saw what to join a construction, so it's better to know what you are called for and focus on
and
that.
don't confuse yourself, because when you confuse yourself, you will be frustrated, and you will feel like you're not like all the other people. So don't look for yourself in other people, look for yourself within yourself, you know. So it starts within you, you know, not with from someone else. From other people, yes, you can learn so much, you know. Don't be ignorant of that, but then know who you are and where you are going.
And I like you said, you started your business with 350.
Yes.
So don't you think it's people use capital as an excuse from starting businesses? Because you can start with whatever you have.
With
like you took your pocket money, then you saved it, you started your first business.
Most definitely. Because according to me, I wanted to work first, you know, and maybe with my first salary start a business. But when I could see that things were not going according to the way I wanted, I had to come up with a plan. That's what that was going to provide that capital for me, and it was to deny myself the things that I wanted for something that I need, you know. So that's how it came about.
And how did it feel when you made your first profit, even though you didn't spend it?
Well, it was awesome, you know. It was awesome, you know. It made me feel capable, you know, and able as a woman, especially as a woman, to do things that I want to do for myself, you know. So yes, that's how it felt awesome. It felt awesome, yeah.
And one of the most important things in business is discipline when it comes to finances.
Yeah, you need to be very disciplined, because if you're not, one day uzoshota ngemali store. So you need to make sure that you save well and manage your finances well, you know, and make sure that you focus more on your needs and not your want, and the needs of the business and not the wants of the business, you know. So
and that's what you're doing. Like you said, you sometimes use the money to buy data, to spread the word, to buy the equipment that you need. And don't you think your expenses should bring you an income in one way or the other, like it does for you, like your data expenses, they make you money?
Yes, it definitely, I regain it back. Any amount of profit that I use for my business, I definitely gain it back. I'm not losing, you know. And sometimes to also give, you know, sometimes when I have maybe let me say burnt cupcakes or muffins, you know, so I take them out and I'm able to decorate them even that way, you know, as long as they're not badly burnt, and I'm able to at least offer to people that would like to have some, or and so forth. So yes.
And don't you think as an entrepreneur it's important to be creative in whatever you do?
Very creative, because the healthy competition out there, it actually awakens you to keep on coming with new ideas that you've never also seen the next person doing. So it actually helps you to also attract more customers, because people like trying new things. My clients also like trying new things. So I also ask them, how would they like me to decorate their cupcakes? And so if they have their ideas, I'm more than willing to also experiment with their own ideas. So it's very important to come up with new ideas, for it attracts more clients.
And you should have a learning spirit as an entrepreneur.
Most definitely.
You should keep on learning.
Yeah.
Because once you think you know it all, you become ignorant. And that's
or
how
prideful.
you fall.
Or prideful.
So I believe in this life you're here to learn. What makes your baking to stand out, like from your competitors? Like I could taste everything, the essence of lemon, your cream, the sponge of your cupcakes, like it's unique. How do you build your craft?
Okay, first, I think that's why character is very important. It starts with you. You sell what you are. You are what you sell. So I need to make sure, number one, I sterilize my equipment. And make sure everything that I work with is clean. And the area that I'm working on is clean. The surfaces that I'm working on are clearly clean, and that I don't spot anything that is not clean. And then number two, I make sure that I have a relationship with my clients. I ask them if they have allergies or not, so that if I have multiple orders on that day, the people that maybe, let me say, I have cupcakes that have nut decorations on them, then I'll have to start with that order first, and then clear everything, and then work on that surface again for people that are allergic to nuts and so forth. So I take that into consideration. I consider allergies, and I make sure that where I work, it is clean. And then I also take into consideration the different types of occasions that I'm catering for. If it's a youth or baby occasion, then at least I'm able to use different types of colors for decors, just so that it may be appealing to eat for the children. And if it's for elderly people, then I cut down maybe on sugar, or I ask them, can I use like your all brand ingredients for health reasons. So we also cater for people that take their health very serious. So we check the occasion, and we check if people like what we use or not. And then that's when I need to make sure that I respect my clients, so that they can also feel important.
So do you think one of the things that make you to stand out in this business is having a relationship with your clients?
A relationship with your clients.
And you understand what is it that they want and what is it that they do not want.
Yes, and you must know their names. You must address them according to their names. It makes them feel like they are important, special, and they are recognized by the company. And for those that support us a lot, what I do is that if the order is maybe above 1,000 rand, I make sure when they say we must deliver for them, then I offer free delivery for them, just to recognize that we appreciate your support and we recognize you as our client. So that's how we work.
I love the way you work. So I think profit should come last.
What
should come first is your customer satisfaction.
Most definitely, and your brand, and building your brand. So you need to make sure that you clean with every client that you serve. And if maybe there's anything wrong with the client, ask them if you have really satisfied their requirements. And if they are not happy with something, don't take it badly. Or personally, try and understand or see things from their perspective, and then try and correct that mistake.
And how did you learn your baking skills?
Okay, well, to be honest, I have not received formal training. I used to watch a lot of food channels, and I would learn from that. YouTube videos were one of them. And yes, I also have, as I mentioned, that I have this good friend of mine, Umuhle. She's the one that actually taught me a couple of things, So I didn't really get formal where I went to school. I'm operating without a baking certificate, meaning Uguti, as much as it's a passion, it comes normally for you. It comes easily for you, compared to something that you don't like. like at all. So I've never received formal training. I just want to sell my love to people through baking. Yeah.
And don't you think as a young person it's important to watch how you spend your time?
Yeah, you almost definitely. That's why I have to study about baking, where it actually started, from the old times. So what I basically do in order to understand business, I study different types of economies, in different types of countries, and I try and understand what contributed largely to bettering the economy and what did not better the economy. So studying those kind of things, it actually helps you a lot to understand in the 1990s or in the 1980s, if it was that the industrial revolution was starting, what did people really like at that time? You start looking at those kind of things, the normal things that people like, and then you start building your business from there. The skill that I'm talking about, I actually learned from a very business entrepreneur, which is Uvusi Tembekwa. He's the one that actually also stated that studied different types of economies in different types of countries, and then take it from there. Which one benefited the country and which one did not. So that's how I'm also trying my level best to study, to keep relevant, also to also know what is happening out there, to also learn from other bakers. What do their clients like, and I try that and see if my clients like it, and I also give them some recipes that they can also try on their side.
So you said something that you keep on learning about different economies.
Yes.
So I think as an entrepreneur, it's important to keep on learning about the business sector.
Yes.
How things operate, where they do come from. You should understand the space that you're operating in.
Most definitely, and also understanding the different types of revolutions, because we are in the fourth industrial revolution. So media can actually sell your product as long as you post your products. It sells. So it's very important to not be ignorant of the little details that actually people pay attention to. And also again. Making sure that you are relevant to, and what the president talks about, so that you don't break the law. So feasibility study is very important when you start the business. So feasibility is where you see, where you do your research, if people are going to like your products or not. Is it a need or it's not a need? So
And due to course of time, we have to round out this interview. We have to close it in a short while. What last words would you like to give to young people,
that you should know who you are, and you should also know where you come from, and also respect the elderly people around you. You rise in life because of your elders' prayers, and you also rise in life because of the people around you. So you need to understand the three types of people: the constituents, the confidants, and the comrades. The confidants are people that build you, comrades are people that build with you, and the constituents are people that act like they are with you but they are not with you. So that's what I would say to the youth. Know who you are. Don't allow people to mislead you. You know what you want more than anyone else can.
And what book recommendation would you love to give to young people?
Well, one thing that I can say is that read a lot of books from Napoleon Hill. That's where I learned a lot of skills from. That's where I learned. You see, Napoleon Hill, he's one of the best. I started reading business books from there. So yes.
Yeah, guys, try out Napoleon Hill. You'll never go. Where can people find you on social media?
Okay, I have a Facebook page called Fancy Sweet Cakes, and we also have an Instagram handle that is fancy_sweet_ or fancy_sweet_cakes, and that's how you are able to.
Then your turns? Your phone numbers?
Oh, okay. Sorry for that. Okay, it's 068 003 4666.
Okay, that's what they can
That's
call
what they
you.
can, yeah.
And thank you for joining us for this interview. Ne?
Thank you.
I wish
so
we had
much.
more time so that we can continue with this interview.
Thank you so much.
We should have a part 2.
Most definitely.
And thank you guys for watching. May you please leave your comments below, and may you please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.